first of all, thank you everybody for coming because it's so nice to meet everybody.
Look what I can do.
No, I'm proud of you. Rich Taru is the one that gives us pop, but also the only reason we are able to live broadcast. So we are live.
You taught us the live broadcast. Right when COVID hit, we immediately started interviewing kids that lived in their parents' basements and played video games, and they taught us everything we needed to know. And they saved the Rumble House.
We cannot look down on the younger generation. They are the future. Okay, so here we go. I just hit send. That was or share. That was that sound. So we're live to Facebook and YouTube.
There's 3 people on the live.
See, look at that.
Sorry.
That's okay.
We do not mind if you're sharing,
but I know that you're sharing it.
If you're sharing the live feed and we can hear it and like we're getting the feedback, we're like, thank you for sharing. Yeah.
So how we do this? First of all, such beautiful art every single week. We never know who's coming, and it's a blessing.
There's now 10 people on the live feed.
Amazing.
It's exciting because some people watch the live feeds together in groups.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes there'll be like 4 people watching on one feed, and we think there's 10 people, but there might be 40.
Totally.
And then this was something, it's maybe like lost its charm, but when we first found out that there was drinking games based on me being stupid, that was really funny. So I have a number of weird mannerisms. Like we numbered all the pieces at first, right? And about half the numbers are songs in my head. So anytime we got to number 14, I slipped into John, who's this little kid from Sesame Street from the 70s, like, fought died. He was counting like to 20 with Grover, but like, this is a loop I've been stuck in since I was a child.
Number 9.
Number nine.
We don't number them anymore. So everyone puts up their piece, and then I've been asking for the opening bids. And if you're here, I'll just ask. Probably again. I'll grab. Actually, is that book floating around? So usually, there's a few of us kind of doing this, but you'll just have patience with me, and because I'm going to write everything down, and then so the bids we will pull up pieces. If you need to leave early, or if you need to leave, if you were selling a piece. We'll get your name and your email in this book, so we can also pass the book around if you haven't done that yet. And we can also do cash too if you're coming back next week, or we'll figure that out.
What would it take to get you to look at this camera every now and then?
Right here.
Okay, there you go.
So we will pick randomly. If you need to leave, be like, hey, can you put my piece in?
Or if you want to buy a piece, if you see something you like,
if you see,
fling it up
please,
there,
say like, hey, what about that awesome cute kitty piece? It has a cute ninja mask.
That's a super cute way to get your own piece up too. It's like $50 on the flies. Like, Travis, you made the flies.
And same with you guys watching at home. If you see a piece and you're like curious, please just text and be like, what about that piece? Could you put it in? And then we total everything up and send out the money. I try to do it earlier, but it's usually on the weekend because since it's online and in person, we are trying to be responsible and get the money and then send the money out. That's just.
Look at.
I know. Did you see? I was talking about Carol Spinney because the one hand is up and the other hand is down, but then it's also a jaw. I don't know. It's really beautiful. Look at the feet. Should we show people? No, we told them we were gonna give them some time so they could see about opening bids. So let's just show people and then we'll come back in and then they have time to think about opening bids. Does that sound good?
Did you do the scribble game with somebody, or you go out of your head and do a scribble and then turn it into something, or?
That's the second one, yeah.
Have you done this before?
Some numerous.
Does a lot of your work look like this?
No, not really.
It's otherworldly. Like I've been drawing for longer than she's been alive, and by far. And I've looked at a lot of artwork, but this is unique, right? And there's all these assholes that are trying to tear your soul out by saying there's no new ideas. This is a new idea. This is absolutely unique, and that's amazing. Thank you.
I like it.
Yay! We'll pull it up and we'll give you some time to think of an opening bit, so we won't put you on the spot right away. We'll pull it up. All right. So Actually, we'll do a few different pieces to get the ball rolling. So Brenda is a friend of. You got it? Brenda is
Maybe.
a friend of ours who lives across the street. So she.
Brenda's pretty neat. We've been here for 9 years, and Brenda's known us for 9 years, but we just met her like in the summer. And she phoned us up kind of like she's known us for 9 years and just started talking and wanted to bring her work in. So we went over to her house and carried some stuff over here. And it was a little bit like Brian, like about 7 years ago, Brian, I thought there's this one guy, the building across the street sometimes has some people that are struggling in it. And there's this one guy that used to sit sideways to us, and it looked like he was scowling at us. We would be noisy at night, and I just thought that guy's going to shoot us one day. And every Wednesday, I'd see him sitting on his balcony, just like. And I was like, I got to talk to that guy when I get a chance, and just make sure that we're doing okay as neighbors. And then one day, I came out, and he's sitting on the plants next door, having a smoke. And I was like, "Hey, man, we don't drive you nuts." He's like, "Rich, like you and Jess are such a huge part of my life," and I'm like. Like what's happening? But he was taking part from across the street at a 3/4 angle for 4 years. And then he came down, and when I said hello, he was just like, he knew us, and we didn't know that we just thought we were the annoying neighbors.
Yeah.
And then so the next week he came inside and he joined us for the evening. At the end of the night, he just started weeping. He's like, "I'm so glad you invited us in." And I thought that will never happen again. Like 4 years later, she comes across the street, and she's known us for 9 years, but we just met her this summer. And it turns out she's this amazing artist. It's like, Brenda, what took you so long? Okay.
What took you so Sky has the opening bid at $50 for this piece.
That's a bit of a smackdown, right? Sometimes when you do that, this guy saying like, "No one in their right mind will bid against me at $50."
Yeah, it's a beautiful glass piece. Yeah. Beautiful.
Now, this is a universal present, by the way, right? For $50, anybody in your family that's difficult to shop for doesn't have this, and they'd love it.
So there's that.
And I almost dropped it. Did you see that?
Saw that. Yeah.
You're at the Rumble House.
Jeebus. So that is opening at 50.
50 to Sky.
If anyone would like, where's your phone? If anyone would like to
I don't know.
text or call,
Where is my phone?
or just say out loud. Oh, it's here. It's charging.
Charging.
403-629-742.
50.
Jeff says 50.
Oh, Sky has 50 first. So do you say
Oh.
55?
Yeah, Jeff says 55.
Jeff says 55. Thank you, Jeff. Someone just said,
Oh, let me do
oh, that's fun.
What is it?
Leanne and Keith are listening to Rocky Raccoon, and someone asked which stream is the auction.
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on.
So Jeff says 55. Okay, so anyone?
Oh, nice. There's 15 people on.
Oh, amazing. So
I haven't done my sharing duty.
what we used to do before COVID is we would bring up a piece and then finish that piece and move on. It's just a big soup because we try to open up as many as we can to get as many people from home being able to bid on as many pieces as we can because we want to give as much exposure to the artists
We're
as possible.
probably the least scrupulous auction house on the planet.
But it's for your good. It's for not if you're bidding.
On the
for
other
it,
hand-
but if you're
on
trying
the
to
other
sell it.
Jess and I here work here absolutely for free.
Yeah.
And when we add up how much money we could have made if we took part in any of the earnings, we could have bought, how did we count it? Like three Mustangs, 2 Mustangs and a Camaro. Or
Two Mustangs
I
and
like to
2
count it
Volkswagens.
as a Mustang, a Camaro, and 2 Volkswagens, because then I can break it down to I've spent a Volkswagen's worth of money on my art supplies, right? But basically, we work here for free instead of having a house.
He also has a Volkswagen.
And we have a Volkswagen.
Can I tell
That was
you,
paid for with cash, not time.
my Volkswagen is currently worth more than
Not
it
cash,
was
that
when I
was-
bought it 5 years ago.
What
That's,
about the motorbike?
Also that.
Motorbike's
And it's
running.
We
Yeah.
got it running.
I stashed
And
it.
the motorbike.
What?
And the motorbike.
Do you know the motorbike story?
This is by
Can I tell the
Kyle.
motorcycle
Of course you
story?
can. I'm going to say this is by Kyle, opening bid 15. if
So
anyone
I was going
would
through a
like to bid.
divorce, and then I found out I was going to be a dad again. So I had a child at 23,
Yeah.
30, and 40.
Enfield, right?
And then not long before the Enfield, my ex and I discovered that I was going to be a dad. And so we decided to stay together for a year. And then in that year, I met Jessica, who was my best friend for 2 years before we started dating. Now, as the marriage had already ended, No, I need this.
I can help you.
Tell a story. I'm kind of negotiating with my ex about like, what am I going to live off of and child support and all that. And child support is important. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to get out of
He's
being a good dad,
responsible.
but I was like, there needs to be enough that I can get to work to pay the child support. So I was trying to work the shit out, and my ex and I split up, and then time passed, and then I moved out, and my ex was like, I really want you to be happy, and I want you to date, but no Jess. And I was like, I get that. So, and I thought she was nuts anyway, so it kind of worked out. I put my life savings into opening.
I know, right? I put on this veneer of like.
I put my life savings, which wasn't very much, into opening Gorilla House. I actually put, I had $600 in the bank plus my summer earnings, and I needed to write a $9,000 check to open Gorilla House, which meant I needed to raise $840 in 3 weeks, or else it just wrote a bum check. The weirdest coincidence is my publisher called me up. She's like, I need 16 illustrations in 2 weeks. So I didn't sleep for 2 weeks. I stayed up all day. Teaching all evening. I did report cards all night. I did the 16 illustrations, and I covered that check. Then I had to sign a $60,000 agreement to open Gorilla House for a year. And I had $3,000 in the bank when I wrote the $60,000 agreement. And so that was my life savings the first time. Then when we did split up, my ex gave me a small portion of what I'd invested in the house, which was the same amount of money, and then the same amount of money again. So 3 times I had enough to buy this Enfield Bullet that I'd wanted since I was 23. The 3 times that I had the money to buy the Enfield Bullet, I'd end up having to put it into the gallery. One day, I'm like, Jess, I'm going to buy that bike. This is my best friend, right? Not allowed to date her. She's my best friend. Jess, I'm going to buy that bike. Kind of negotiating, the settlement terms of moving out. I'm like, Jess, I'm going to buy that bike. Oh shit, I got to pay some taxes. And then she's like, so I lose the money for the 3rd time, right? She's like, why don't you just show me the bike? I'm like, that's cruel, but yeah, we get in the car, we drive over to Cruel.
I know.
Yeah, not cool.
No, cruel.
Cruel.
I was laughing.
And I show her the bike, and she's like, what colors does it come in? I was like, well, there's red and black, and I'm told there's a chrome one in the back. She's like, oh, she pulls out her credit card, she buys me a motorcycle.
I had just gone through a horrible breakup, and I got like the car in the breakup, and I sold the car for like the exact same amount that the bike was.
Right.
And it was like,
Right.
this would make.
So I
this
ride the
good.
motorcycle back. My ex shows up. She's like, where'd you get the motorcycle?
Not Jessica.
I thought you're short on cash and you bought a motorcycle. It all worked out in the end.
We're all very good friends now. More
Well, and I want to say there was nothing nefarious about that.
no, it was just really weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward conversation.
So that's Luna's dragon.
Luna's dragon. How old is
She
Luna?
is 3. And currently going through her abstract expressionist phase.
Luna is 3. What is the opening bid for Luna?
$10.
$10 for Luna's dragon.
Cool. And I will obviously.
Obviously.
Are you bidding 10?
$10, Morgan. $10.
I'll bid 15.
Oh. So Rich bids 15 for Luna's.
Because I believe in art history.
Also, this piece is at 15 to Morgan. If anyone like Jigglypuff, and there's magnets on the back. It's currently at 15 to Morgan. And this one's currently
And when
at
I see
15
Luna
to
next, I'm
Rich.
like, you know what? Your dad wanted the piece, but not enough.
Right.
I love the fire on the sides. Look at this.
Well, I made her kind of a limited palette, and then she really got the sense. It's red. Dragons are red, and they breathe fire.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So sweet. So it's currently at 15 to Rich. I'm going to show the next one too.
And this is Nova, who's my 5-year-old. It's her Ninja Cat.
What's your opening bid?
$10 as well.
$10? I'm going to bid $10 on this one. $10 to me.
I'd like to thank all the people that shared the link.
Yeah.
That is so much help to us.
It's a little bow. Gosh, is it like, what a cute thing, because Felix went through a Ninja Cat phase too.
Ninja Cat's in anything that you can turn into a unicorn.
I love that.
Snake cat.
Snake cat,
There's, like,
ninja
unicorn
cat.
bears and unicorn giraffes and
I love that.
unidogs.
Oh,
Oh, and mermaid dogs, mermaid kitties.
mermaid, everything
Yeah.
too. God, 5-year-olds are limitless.
Yeah,
So-
she's amazing.
I currently have the bid at $10. So if anyone wants to bid, it's
I'm
that.
just running a little behind here.
No, it's okay. I'm
there
gonna
are
keep
some
pulling.
things coming in.
Okay, I'm gonna keep pulling stuff up, and then
Somebody
you
found the auction. Leanne.
Good. That's nice.
Rocky Raccoon checked into his room
And
only to find Gideon's Bible
Luna Nova's
Rocky
dad,
had come.
Morgan,
equipped with a gun
self-portrait. Would you like to say
to
anything
shoot
about
off
this
the.
one?
What?
Yeah, so I took a photo. I was just playing with Instagram filters, and I found the red filter, and then I snapped a photo. Funny thing is, my my grandmother,
Yeah.
called me the next day because in the photo I have a sleep.
Thing on your nose? Yeah.
Yeah, but one of those things that prevent you from snoring.
Yeah.
And she thought I had black eyes and a broken nose. She ended up calling me,
Are
checking
you
up on me.
okay?
I was
Oh.
like, this is the first time grandmother's called me. But and then so I thought I'd do a self portrait, and yeah, first one I've done in years.
That's really
$5.
lovely. $5? $5. Opening bid.
Well, I'll make 15 off his. It's gonna be worth more than $5.
Are you bidding? for it?
No, I said I'll make 15 off his.
Oh, jeez. That's so much nice.
So $5 the opening bid.
I
People-
thought that was Twiggy's mouse for a second.
Yeah, it does look like it.
Yeah, I thought that was Victoria's.
There's some good attitude.
I had
in
this
it,
crazy
for
thought
sure.
on the way to work this
Definitely
morning,
do.
and I'm not going to get into why I had this crazy thought, but I remember we're talking about this. We have red curtains in our house, which creates all kinds of crazy lighting effects.
I took a really good red selfie from just the curtain too.
Yeah.
I was thinking,
And my dad flipped out when we were kids because my sister put a red light bulb in her room, and he thought that in Canyon Meadows that meant that our house was the red light district. And so we talk about signs and signals as artists all the time. So the red light might signal or signify your intentions, but it struck me for the first time this morning that the red light district, probably the reason people were using red lights was to hide like skin blemishes and so forth. That
Funny thing, since last Halloween, I have not changed the light bulb on our front deck, and it's red.
that's because you're a horror movie.
I love that.
But I just remembered your daughter's going to watch the feed, and I'd like to take that back.
I mean, it also penetrates further because it's longer wavelength.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's part of the reason why the red light district has red lights because
Yeah.
you can see it from further away.
Yeah, I was
Right.
saying the astronomers and fishermen would use red lights in the nighttime too, so their eyes wouldn't have to keep dilating and losing.
Oh, here's the other crazy thing, because you're saying that about the pirates. They would wear the eye
Pirates, yeah.
patch on one eye, and they'd have a
Oh.
daytime eye and a nighttime eye, and a lot of them weren't blind, but one eye would get destroyed by the sun, and the other eye they'd save for nighttime.
Well, what would happen is they get one eye adjusted for the light, and when they went to go attack other ships and go into the
Yeah.
underneath, it
Yeah.
was dark in there.
Yeah.
So they swap over their unadjusted eye.
Yeah,
So they have basically night vision for pirates.
yeah, but the daytime
I
vision
love.
would take all
We
the
also
sometime
learn
damage.
things here.
Sometimes we're just making shit up too.
So there's a few things that we always want to talk about at the gallery. The self-portrait that Morgan did was he painted it here, right? And so he started at $5. And when you're saying $5, you're like, oh my gosh, but like that's amazing. So when we do the 2-hour works, it's always a little bit different than studio works. So that's what we were talking about Kevin's pieces too. Like when your studio works are on the wall or when your studio works are brought in,
$900.
it's different, right? Like it's a different price point. So just for you guys too, it's like we're always talking about the different like what is value and
Priceless,
how-
all priceless.
it's all priceless. So like when we put money to
anything
it,
they can pay is chump change.
so this is a studio work by Morgan. And so integrating old school toys
Holy man.
in with realism. And what did you say your opening bid?
We'll go 50.
50?
This is part of the series I'm going to work on this year. This for the rest of this year called Attack of the Childhood.
Attack of the Child Play.
I initially wanted to do just a 12-piece series and hang a show, but if I make 50 of them for the rest of the year, then I'll do more than what I intended.
Right? And then you're not limited.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like your perspective work with houses as well.
Thank
It
you.
draws me right into that.
It really does. Like a memory, right? Like if we're talking about that.
Perspective, I really struggled with the sidewalk for a little bit.
You did a really good job.
So 50.
50. So $50 opening bid. You can text 403-629-7424.
That's 403-629-7424.
That painting is terrifying. It's terrifying.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's
No,
super
it's
scary.
like imagination. It's beautiful.
Or it is.
I think it depends on your relationship with your childhood like, and all these things, right? Like, and the toys. Like, what if
This
you
is
had a toy
actually
that came alive at nighttime and you were freaked out?
also
by
a great warning lesson because there's always that guy running down the street saying, "There's a giant Raggedy Ann doll!" And like we're all like, that guy needs some medication. But in reality, you know, you've seen this in the movies all the time. Like it's like,
And they're not
Dad,
listening
there's
to
something
them.
under the bed, and you're like, listen to the kid. Now, like, don't worry, son. There's nothing under the bed. Listen to the kid, and then they close the door, and everybody in the theater like, ah! What if we're that? You know,
100%.
what if I'm the guy?
Rich, would you like to put in a few?
I have so many.
That's what I mean.
I have
Which
a
one
problem.
would you like
I
to
did
do?
too much.
Would you?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay.
We'll just show them all
So.
because I have a
and then-
problem. I was out of control.
Do you-
I bought watercolor paints and I got some old-fashioned paper, and I'm really kind of enjoying what they do. This is the Junkman Zublighetto. It's kind of jazzy. Came from the actual book cover for that poem,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I can't ask for much because I did it in about 10 minutes. But I quite love it, so maybe I'll start the bidding on that one at 20, just because I wouldn't mind keeping it.
Are you done with your phone?
No, I can't pin it to the top.
So it's $10 opening bid. If you'd like to bid, text 403-629-7424 or $20.
Only because I kind of overloaded
No,
the
sorry, I'm
the
sorry,
show today.
$20.
So if there's something I'd like to keep, I wouldn't mind keeping that one.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
$20 to me.
Beautiful. And
Do you want to show a few?
yeah, let's show a few.
Okay. This is super exciting. I was going to sell the raccoon drawing I did because I did this rad raccoon drawing, but I was so excited I took it home and showed my wife, and then I realized I did it at the end of the day, so I didn't show my high school kids, which kind of mattered the most. So I carried it back to school, and they were actually, I was surprised how much it meant to them. The other raccoon drawing I did, because this is like some really like fabricy old-fashioned paper that we're gifted, and when it gets wet, it smells like I don't know if you've ever smelled the water in Bragg Creek, but kind of sulfury. And does anybody here from Bragg Creek? Have you ever had that weird tap thing where it's like not all the time, but sometimes it smells like eggs?
Yeah.
Is that just me or?
There's also a street
there
on like
might be methane gas.
Yeah. So anyways, this is the kids also love this story because like we're in the studio and I got this paper wet and it's just her and I'm like, dude, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, do we need to go to the hospital? She's like, what? I'm like, oh, it's my paper. But the worst smell at it, and it was just the two of us. She doesn't ever even, she glows. But anyways, I brought the other raccoon back to show my high school kids, and they were actually really thrilled because I was like, hey guys, like look, I've never done this before. Because I tend to use watercolors the way I should use oil paints, and I tend to use gouache the way I should use oil paints. But with the fibrous nature of this watercolor, it's kind of like just gambling. And you're using the paper and the water to create these puffy. And I was going to sell my other really good raccoon, but I forgot it at school. And then I did this actually in the last 10 minutes. So Mr. Glow at school, every time he sees my drawings, like, oh, wow, how long did you spend on that? It's like,
don't ask me that.
how far can you run? You're like, I can run forever.
It's like a lifetime.
There's a point where I have to stop. I have to slow down sometimes, but like I could run forever. Like if people like maybe right now I'd circle to do a 10K, but in my youth, if somebody said, how far can you run? I'm like, no, like I could run to Vancouver. I just have to pace myself, right? But this Glow asked me every time, he's like, how long do you spend on that? I'm like, 10 minutes. And then today I actually lied to him on this one here. I was like, oh, like I waited a long time for the paint to dry. He's like, well, thank you for that.
Wait,
Did we put a bid on this?
what's your opening?
I don't know. I have so many pieces. So I'm just going to start the bid at 20 just because I want to know if people want them. So $20 for this one. My second water
I
cooler.
had to IOU for Friday.
Oh, that's okay. Did you bid on this one?
Yeah.
What 20? Okay.
Do you want to hold it?
Yeah.
20 more.
Okay. This Fox is a maximum bid of $10. Maximum bid.
Expression.
It'd make a nice postcard.
Oh, it's so nice.
Okay, there's that one. This is my other Reynard. So Reynard number 1. Reynard number 2. And I did all 4 of these in like 20 minutes before the staff meeting. 3.
Why?
Why?
Why 20 minutes or why did I paint so many foxes?
So many foxes. Like you could have done like 4 different.
I like
right?
You know what I like foxes? Because they'll chew their legs off to get out of a trap. And I've been saying this. There's a couple funny things that I've been saying for like ever since we've opened. One is, like they complain about Rumble House. Well, we called it Rumble House. Right. And before they thought Gorilla House was a little rough. I'm like, we called it Gorilla House. If somebody complained about anything, our business motto was nobody said it'd be easy. Right. Yeah. Secondly, if you're going to stop me, you're going to have to fucking kill me. And then we saw that on a TV show. Sorry about my language, by the way. It's just something I used to say at home. And
how much are you the starting bid?
each one of these has a maximum bid of $10. So if you want to bid on one, just send me $10 and tell me which one you want. And then
What was the first one, Rich?
this is the first one. Wait, maybe this is the first one.
No, it's not.
I did it backwards.
Gets confusing.
Hi, my name's Chaos.
So Kelly bid
What's your name?
10. Was that the no?
No.
No.
The second one.
I think this was the first one.
Yeah, this one.
Okay,
Hang on.
Kelly bid 10. So Dusty, do you want to bid 15? They both bid on.
No,
the
I said
first.
maximum 10 bid. $10 a maximum. You can have this for $10.
So did Kelly get the first
Kelly
one?
got the first
and then
one.
Dusty has to get the.
Dusty, you can pick between these 3. If you want,
I'm trying to tell the
I'll even
people
tell
that
you.
are new here like the rules, and then you're like, no, max bid. Like, essentially, do whatever your heart tells you. What's the second one?
Let's call this the second one. It's the best one.
Can they do the other one?
Which one? This one?
No, yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Come get it. It's yours. $10.
She said not the sitting one.
Shut up! You're banned. No, I'm
Which-
just kidding. Who
no,
said
which,
that?
which one's the sitting one?
None of them are sitting. This one's running.
That one's sitting.
Yeah, what's that one doing?
Does
This is
anyone
sitting.
remember what the second one was?
That one.
That one?
This
Okay.
one's tearing up the landscape.
So, second one. Okay, this one is Dusty's.
Dusty, this is the best one. I keep telling you.
Yeah, it was a family of 4.
Okay. And did Tomas get the third one or the fourth one?
He has it already.
I'll just
This has a home, Dusty?
third.
I think it was the
Third?
No.
Does this have a home?
That one has a home. It's
Okay.
Dusty's.
Okay. And then
That's how it goes, right?
I'll trade this one for a song. Wow, it's not very good. Woo. Okay.
I'll sing you this.
Oh, is that a song?
I don't know what happened. On the one he painted tonight. Oh, this one.
Oh yeah. I did another one.
$10 to that one's at $10 to Leanne.
I honestly like. You might think I paint quickly, hey?
Yeah.
I just see my hands going. I don't even know what they're doing, and then the stuff comes out. Okay, that's pretty good. And then it's funny because I have such a detachment from this because it just my hands did it, and like no thought. Like people are like, oh, why'd you choose this color? Like my hands did it, and it's pretty neat. I just kind of go on autopilot, and then I watch my hands do these. I love my hands so much, but I don't feel very attached to them. Okay.
Okay, let's put in.
So has this got a bid of $10? 10?
$10.
Right on.
All right.
Okay, what did the bid? Oh, let's put this up. Did we
Yeah,
get a bid
that's
on this?
your name. Justin?
Yes. I'll go for like $10.
$10.
I'll bid
opening
$10.
bid. This is
Love
so.
it.
How many have I bid on tonight?
I don't
Oh yeah, I'll bid $10.
know. It's okay.
Did I win yours? Your daughter's?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just got to keep track of what I spend because I have a bit of a problem with spending.
It's currently at this one's currently at $10, so it's your first time here selling
Yes.
too. Big round of applause to Justin.
Also, I'm gonna if I win this or if I don't win this, I'm gonna send a picture of it to my publisher because I think she'll really dig your style. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate that a lot.
Okay, so it's currently at $10, and
Can we?
Holly?
Holly, yeah.
Can we?
Yep.
Can we do this one, and then we're gonna do this one?
I can hold it.
Sure. Okay. So this is by Holly. Also, big round of applause for Holly. It's her first time here too. What do you think your opening bid?
$10.
$10. Beautiful. $10. $10.
Love it.
Lovely acrylic on canvas. I really like the layers. That's what my yarn looks like in my classroom right now.
This is what my thoughts look like in my head.
Right? So if you're at home, text 403-629-7424 if you'd
That's
like to bid on any.
403-629-7424. 403-629. All right. There was the day that a balloon artist came in, right? Eddie.
Eddie Spaghetti.
And Rob Dodds showed up with his welding truck.
Yep.
A guy came in and sang a song and auctioned off the rights to the song, this MP3 of the song, and the lyrics. Francis used to come in and auction off a day of photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like the weirdest things we've ever sold.
What?
But we,
You sold Al self-portrait 2 weeks ago.
yeah. We have not sold fishing. Are they lures? Is that what they're called? Flies.
They're fly fishing flies.
Do they also lure?
You're let me just.
Yeah, here.
Come on up. Yeah.
We do. Can I tell you, we do already have a bid on them for $25 for the
Oh,
set. So
perfect.
that's. But talk and.
Who
tell
am I
the
bidding
story.
against? Who's that?
So these are
Debbie? Oh, Debbie, don't even bother. I'll bid 50.
these are Clouser minnows.
I'm going to take care of all the male staff
Yeah.
Christmas presents in one bid.
This fly
I got
fishing.
Bright. I got Andy.
There we go. This fly is a streamer. So it is a fly that you sink to the bottom. And it's a bull trout fly. Bull trout are my favorite trout, Alberta's provincial fish. I tied it on a size 8 hook, streamer hook. So it is like a medium sized hook. So it'll handle big fish. It'll also handle smaller fish. Now, the cool thing about this, though, so I teach wildlife at St. Tim's with Rich. There's a whole bunch of people like me and Rich at St. Tim's.
Seems like a fun place.
It's an interesting place. The cool thing, so my students in wildlife, before we had semester change, one of them shot a buck. And then they brought in the bucktail, and we skinned the bucktail in class. And all of the belly of the fly, is from a bucktail that was shot out on the Copperthorne properties in Cochrane, because it was a Copperthorne that shot it. If you know anything about the Copperthorns, you know that they were some of the first homesteaders in Alberta. And then the top is from bucktail. And this other stuff is dyed. I bought it at Bass Pro. But all of the bottom is from a bucktail. So if you are into brown trout fishing or bull trout fishing, these are great. I also made a variation on them. And I think I'm going to leave the variation on it because I like it. But I like pink because the bullies like pink.
You're not having a good time taking those off the thing, right?
No. Well, you need to pinch your barbs down too. So the barbs need to be pinched. But
Just
I
get it right here.
yeah. So what I did was I flared these guys out. So this is like a nice sort of like like a rooster on it, almost like a rooster tail. But I think I'm gonna tie my flies like this from now on. So I didn't tie the back down, so I flared it up. So these are actually saltwater flies that'll work in freshwater. But this fly, I tied down in the back, and it floats a bit flatter. So this is actually a straight freshwater fly. So there's a combination of salt and freshwater flies there. So if you're gonna go to Mexico, maybe fish for rooster fish or something, this will work. Anyway, there you go.
Did you say fish or rooster fish?
Rooster fish, yeah.
Like fish for cock.
He always has to forget.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'd call it that. I mean, I don't see the problem.
We like
the
cock jokes
barbs
anyway.
and the.
For like 6 months, this one guy brought in a rooster every week, and the jokes about roosters was nonstop.
Like you brought a rooster in here?
No, he was painting roosters.
Oh.
That would be amazing for figure drawing, though.
So anyway.
Animal life. We
flies.
haven't done any animal life figure drawing.
Can't make it.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Good for these.
Okay, so I got this at 50 right
It's
now.
currently, it was
50
25
going once,
openings,
50 going twice, $50 going three times.
So you can use them, but it would probably also look nice in like a frame.
Yeah.
I mean, I use them to whack bullies, but
Does that mean something, or are you like?
Yeah, that's like Fisher.
whack
Okay.
I use them to whack vulture.
It's like when the junior
What was
high
the thing you said on the first disco? Ripping lips. Yeah, that actually left me feeling like, ah. Because actually, we were in where were we in holiday? We went to we were somewhere.
Holiday.
Oh, it wasn't a holiday. My grandma died, and I was in Bonnyville. She's 103. Like, she was lovely. She had a great life, but she was 103. And that's actually, we don't get out much, so it was kind of like a holiday. We drove to St. Albert, stayed in a motel, drove out to Bonnyville, went to the funeral. I stopped and changed it the Wild Apple or something. What was it called?
It's a red apple.
I walked into the Red Apple. I'm like, can I use your change room? She's like, what? I'm like,
Like a sandstorm.
my grandmother's funeral was in like 10 minutes, and we just drove here from like, can I use your change room? She's like tearing up. I'm like, yeah, she's 103. It's okay. But Travis, don't take this the wrong way. I'd never thought about fishing before, but I love the taste of fish, right? So somebody's got to do it. And then I went downstairs. She was sleeping, and Felix was sleeping. I went downstairs and I was watching this fishing show. And like the detail this guy went in to catch this fish, I was like, I'd never watched a fishing show before. And I was having like this heroic, like, yeah, and he pulls the fish. And I was like, yeah. And I was just eating my eggs and celebrate. And then he rips, it goes all this trouble to pull the hook out and put the fish back. And I'm like, what's the point of that? Just maliciously ripping the fish's lip open and then putting him back. They love it though, right? Okay. Whose is that?
Chris. So, Chris,
Let me see that.
this is Chris's first time here too. So, big round of applause for Chris. Yay. Look, she did this one too.
This is one of my favorite styles. I'm always trying to talk about what this style is, and I don't know what it is. I think it kind of falls into mid-century modern, but it also like I also associate it with the Rudolph.
Yeah, that time.
That
period.
kind of lighting that you'd see, and there also would be like these cookbooks where like everything looked a little too shiny, and I love this style, and I talk about it all the time. I don't know what it's called though. Mid-century. I guess it sort of falls under mid-century modern.
So the opening bid for this one is $8. So it's collage and multimedia. Would you like to say anything about it?
Well, I just wanted to have fun and do something that I wouldn't usually do. Like, yeah, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
I will happily bid $8 on it. Can I ask you how you found us? How did you get here?
A friend told me about these like 5 years ago, and
Oh.
I just came today for the first
And do you know
time.
it's almost our last year. We have
Oh, what?
a couple weeks left, and then we're gonna shut down at the end of our 10-year lease, which
so we're
is
coming up to 9 years.
yeah. And so
and then we have
December
1 year left.
14th this year will be the beginning of our last year.
Okay, good. Thank
Then
you.
it's good you came. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take a weekend off.
What? Just finally.
We
Just one.
actually take, the truth is we take an evening off once a month, and we take a weekend off every 4 months. And that's why I called my grandmother's funeral a holiday.
That's not enough.
You'll be very proud to know we're going to the Banff Springs Hotel
Next weekend.
for a whole Saturday next weekend.
Whole Saturday.
And we can afford to do
Even
that
at
because we only
nighttime.
take 1 day holidays. So.
Yeah. And this is the second piece she did, watercolor on paper. So this is opening $6.
Whose mania is this?
Mine.
That's Morgan's. Here.
Morgan,
I
like
don't know
you
if wanna take
didn't
that.
breathe when you held your breath when you made this. This this is the meticulous
This opening
concentration
$6
of it. You couldn't have breathed properly. It's there's you're frozen in time.
Oh, I didn't see the car before. That's so great.
From the perspective of instead of windshield.
Yeah,
Right before you die.
Because I noticed the water. And
This is
then I
my
didn't
drive to
see
work
the-
every day, by the way. Leave to work in the dark, come
What's
home in
your
the dark.
opening bid for this one? $20 for
$20.
this one.
And check the phone's not digging. Should probably send you. Okay, do I have this at 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Decided.
Did those foxes all find? Did that fox find a home?
Oh, this is currently at $10.
Okay, I'm gonna
to
just time it
Leanne.
out. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. We usually have somebody writing the time down.
I'm ready.
$10 to Leanne. Okay. You got 10-minute lag to fix that if you want to bid against it. This one I started at 20. It didn't get a bid.
No.
That's okay because I want to keep it. That works. Can I put this one up?
Yeah, of course.
This came from I was looking at an abstract art history painting, and all I could see was this bare bottom near the river, and it wasn't actually a painting of a figure at all. It was just a conglomerate of lights. But the more I looked at it, the more I started seeing this kind of. It could have been the 1800s, could have been the 1930s, but another timely sort of lady sitting near the river, meticulously. I thought she was digging a hole, but I wasn't sure. And then I realized she wanted to bury a pile of skulls. And it was really strange because we just sat there and I was kind of talking about stuff. And I painted this lady who's burying, like, she's either digging up skulls or burying
Yeah, it's
skulls,
like-
depending on your bend. But my intention was actually hiding the evidence. So I'm not sure what this is about, although it came out completely completely out of
I'm not sure.
all right.
There's no skeletons.
I forgot to mention my beautiful one. Hey, that's your butt. No. So anyways, I painted this and it has a story and you can make up your own story, but it's actually a reference to an art history painting.
And actually, in the last week, we've seen like 3 different iterations of a woman.
Yeah, that painting keeps popping up. And it's in the donated frame, so don't worry about that.
Ria's bid $15 on Justin's.
All right.
piece. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is this Jess, right? I
Is there
remember
anything you
'cause
want
I'm
to say
also
about it?
Jess.
Just it's from Puckawagan, Manitoba. I'm
And
a
you
nurse
you
in
saw it on a
northern-
run?
Yeah, I work in northern Indigenous communities in Manitoba.
And do you sometimes, like, on a run, you'll see a magic thing, but you don't have your camera, so you're like memorizing that thought? Or did it stick with you? Oh, did you have your camera?
I did. I always run my phone up there because there's lots of res dogs.
Right.
They're a little scary. But
Right.
yeah, that was a really beautiful moment that I took to take a moment.
And what's your opening bid?
Only $2.
I'll bid $2.
Okay.
We didn't.
Ooh,
Five?
you said what?
Five. Oh, Kevin! Big round of applause for Kevin and his beautiful work! Yay! Have a good night. Also, big round. Is this your first time selling with us?
Yeah.
Big round of applause for Jess as well!
I haven't drawn a
Yay!
picture in many years.
So nice.
What's that like?
I don't know, a little awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, like,
What was
so
it like the
honest.
years where you
Like,
didn't draw?
Well, I feel maybe pent up, right?
Yeah. And then when you drew, did you feel like it kind of,
Yeah, it was nice.
I people ask me what it's like to learn to draw, and I don't know because I drew before I spoke, right? I did learn to drum at 30, and I can tell you the experience of learning to drum. I actually, the thing where I'm like bleeding the water on the fibrous paper is kind of new for me, and I get really excited when I find
It is
something new.
exciting.
But like I haven't gone probably more than an hour of waking time without drawing.
Oh.
And so that's the most foreign thought to me in the world, that you hadn't drawn for 10 years. And then when you drew, is it like that when the ice cracks, it was just like
No, it just makes me want to do it more.
good.
Yeah.
So it's currently at $5 to Morgan. I'm just gonna write that down. And can we get the other? Yeah.
Well, by surprise, this is a portrait of my son. And in my book, I referenced, I'd said, they send home notes from school saying check for lice, but I'm looking for signs of antlers, and it's his favorite line in the book. And then you were saying about toothless, right? And so we turned that kid in that show actually kind of looks like my son. So after like writing a book about my son having horns and then turning the TV on, this kid looks a lot like my son having horns. We were pretty thrilled. He doesn't like that show. He's like, there's something about this show that doesn't feel right. It's like kind of like how I didn't really think Napoleon Dynamite was funny. Although,
Vote for Pedro.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I didn't get it.
Yeah,
And it was
I didn't get
McGregor that pointed out to me, because for years I just thought maybe I was a little too highbrow. Like, I don't know. I didn't really think it was funny. And Kevin's like, did you ever consider it
You
might be
are
like,
Napoleon.
I was like, oh. The only thing in that entire movie that seemed silly to me was he put potatoes in his pocket, and I would never do that. And then again, I was talking to McGregor, but we finally watched all of the Marvel movies all at once, and we watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which apparently a lot of people didn't love. It's my new favorite movie, and so loaded with autism.
Yeah.
Every single character is on the spectrum from one end to the other, and I'm like, man, I love this movie. There's something about this movie. That panda guy over there is really making my heart pound.
Was this a collaboration that you guys did, or did you?
No,
who
me
is
time it
this
was.
by?
What's
What?
the opening bid for this?
$1.
You could make it 20, and I'd buy it for 20.
Yeah, fine.
I'll bid $1. What'd you
Morgan
say?
just bid 5. Hold on, can I get names? And we also need to clap because I want to value everybody because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the first time. So big round of applause. Katie, thank you so much. K or C?
Kelii.
Thank you.
Okay. We have I don't know what to call this. I think
Is that a baby?
It's like a fetus.
it is,
It's like a glass
but it's
fetus.
a glass fetus.
And I think it has testicles.
Wow.
It's a toy.
It's just like so
Congratulations.
interesting. This is also by Brenda, and it's a cast glass piece. It's really interesting. I don't know. Trying to like hold it.
I'll pass it around
Yeah.
if you dare.
It's glass, yeah. No pressure. Yeah, sorry. Yes, Noel. Opening bid? 20. So this is by Noel. Oh, it looks so good on the screen too. So this is by Noel. Acrylic on panel.
I called it perfect imperfection.
Perfect imperfection. Opening bid is $20. Also, your writing is so gorgeous on the back. It's like,
Yeah, but the first one was like puffing the marker was puffing. No, that's not the effect.
it's not perfect. It's not.
No, it's not perfect.
Is my
But
dinger off?
it has it like perfect imperfection. So whatever.
It's perfect.
Should I hold it? Like
Should I?
Let's pass it around. Can you pass it
Oh my
around?
god.
So that's by Noel. $20.
Better when you
Opening
hold it and you
bid.
suddenly realize I'm going to spend the rest of my life without this bum on my wall.
Not exactly sure if that's the right word, but definitely
You
unique.
could just say it's a like whatever.
By Kyle. So this is by
I
Kyle.
like your piece. How long did you work on it?
It is
Oh,
super
yeah.
cute that like
It just came out.
over the years
30 minutes.
we've met some of our favorite people here making street art, and then like I'm a fan of graffiti, and I like to watch how these things unfold, and I'm just recognizing the tag on the back, and it's pretty cute because like we've been so lucky in this space with the graffiti kids respectfully not damaging our stuff, and really, I mean, we would be the biggest target, and we have a mural on the bridge that never gets tagged, and when it does get tagged, they tag it in a way that it's not hard to fix, and we've really been cherished, I think, by the graffiti committee in Calgary. And this fella he just reminds me so much of this one guy. I want to tell the story because it's just sort of random. But I used to teach at school in Ross Carrick, and there's little kind of like, I don't want to say gangs, but they kind of are gangs, but little groups of kids that come in, and we say kids are like Jess's age, they're like grown-ups, but
I say kids.
they still spray paint on buildings and things. And there's a code, right? You don't paint on cars, you don't, paint on children, you don't paint on the war memorial, right? There's these codes, right? And so this one guy came in, and sometimes I think maybe like the inclination to go out in the middle of the night and paint on a building follows a certain sort of style where maybe you're a little shy to talk in public. And so there's this one fella who's so cute, and he would come in and get plastered because he's too nervous to come into the gallery sober. And he's sharing his work with me, and we're chatting. He wanted to put up a show, and then like this is what happens. I'm like, oh, I totally know that tag, because this might be a little vague, but on the back is like, oh, I know that one. And then I pieced together the history of this person. I was like, so I was just sitting there, and he shows me his work, and I recognized the tag, and it kind of triggered a chain of events. And then in the same conversation, I'm do my best not to ask, like, because you were asking what's his real name.
Well, I wanted to ask what he wanted to sell it as.
Politely, we have to, like, are you using your street name, or are you using your real name, or do you have a studio name, and all these different complexities to communicating. And so this one guy's chatting with me, he's plastered, and he liked it. He was so happy. And then he mentioned going to AE Cross. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I was want to call it lacrosse, but AE Cross. I'm like, dude, where'd you grow up? And he's like, Ross Carrick. I'm like, you hit that station wagon. Because I had my eye on the station wagon with wood paneling for years. It was just sitting there, and I was going to ring the bell and offer to buy it. And these kids carved it from head to toe, right over the windshield, all over the wood paneling. And I remember I was riding to work. I love graffiti art, but there's a code. You don't hit cars, right? And I don't know how plastered they were.
Woodies.
They had a wood paneled 1974 Chevy, but they just covered it. And I'm on my way to work, and I see the guy. I know he uses his car for his job for painting, and he's like razor scraping the windshield so he can get to work. I was like, oh man. So like 10 years later, I'm bonding with this kid, and out of the blue, he says, yeah, I grew up in Ross Carrick. And it just comes out of my mouth, you hit that station wagon. And it was like, if I'd kicked him in the nads as hard as I could, it wouldn't have struck him. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, it wasn't my car, but there's a code, right? Can I tell another story? So part of the reason why we have a good relationship with the street kids is that we don't rat people out, right? And then so like when I opened up Gorilla House, I had this gorilla right there on my door, and this one guy who's a DJ now tore it off the door, and he painted into it, and he put it up on Facebook. He didn't know who we were yet, but then he added us to Instagram, Facebook, because he thought we're cool. And the first thing that happened was I saw my sign that he ripped off my door and painted. The second thing that happened was when I went to go fix my door, the graffiti cop comes up as I'm spray painting on my door. And he's like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, man, this is my door. And he's like, I want to thank you for your outreach program. And I was like, what are you talking? He's like, what are you talking about? Nothing. So I thought he was busting me for spray painting on my own door. He came to thank me for my outreach program. I didn't know I had an outreach program, but it so happened that 3 of the kids that this guy was counseling, I said, I'm giving up graffiti forever because I found this place. So he thought we're specifically targeting graffiti kids and giving them something to do with their time. But our whole philosophy was everybody was welcome. Anyhow, so there's a particularly nefarious graffiti artist. Can I use his name? I think I can. And there's a campaign called Free Bowler on all the fences because he was doing some time for his nefarious acts. And so Bowler started coming in. And the first time he came, he didn't really know who we were. And he just tagged a sidewalk with epoxy and wrote Bowler on the sidewalk. But he's just straight out of jail and isn't allowed to touch art supplies. So he tags my corner here. I'm fine with that. It's not my corner. And then he comes to the gallery. He's like, wow, you guys are really cool. And then the next week, I see the graffiti cop down the block taking photos of the graffiti on the wall, and he's working his way towards the gallery. And I remembered it said Bowler on the ground right outside my door. And the one ultimate crime. Hey, I'm telling a story here.
He's asking me if he can trade his artwork for the box that I just bought. And I'm telling him he can have it.
And so, but
Oh, Can is by it's beside the garbage can.
This
in
is
the
the best
kitchen.
part of my
Go
story. You're
around-
gonna miss
oh,
it.
no,
Backdoor deal here.
Go around. Here, sorry, I'm bad at explaining.
That's what kills art galleries. Okay, so I don't want to pick a graffiti war with the most nefarious graffiti kid in the city, but I see the graffiti cop coming down the block and taking pictures of everything. And Oliver's like 13 at the time. And the ultimate crime is to buff or to scrape out somebody's name. It's like a war. It's a declaration of war. So I walk in the gallery. I know Buller's going to get a lot of shit because he just put his name in epoxy on the sidewalk. And I said to Oliver, I said, hey, man, we're going to go do something a little weird, but just keep an eye over the back of your head because you don't want to get hit in the back of the head with a hammer or something because we don't know anybody that well. We're just cleaning the thing off to keep the kid out of trouble. So Oliver and I are out on the street. Oliver's like 13. He knows all the rules. And we're chiseling Bowler off the street. And the graffiti guy's coming up the street taking pictures of all the graffiti on the block. We're just chiseling it away. And finally the cop gets here and he's like, what are you guys doing? We're like, just cleaning up the block. And he's like, you're destroying evidence. I'm like, thought I was a good citizen. And so the graffiti cop was looking for Bowler's work and he was coming up the street and he was mad that I chiseled Bowler off the sidewalk.
Or something.
Right.
You don't have to look for it.
What?
He doesn't have to look
You
far
don't have to
enough.
look far to find Buller.
No, but at the
You can
time,
walk in the middle of a field, flip over a rock.
at the time he was on his best, other than this one insurrection, he was on his best behavior because he was on what do you call it? Parole, right?
Yeah,
probation, right? And so I call Jackrabbit, we'll call him Jackrabbit, and I'm like, hey, can you get a hold of Boulder? He's sitting next to Boulder in the car. I was like, maybe, because everybody's like super sneaky about their names. I'm like, can you just pass on to a message to Bowler that I buffed his name off the sidewalk, but nothing personal. I was just trying to keep him out of trouble. And he's like, maybe I can, maybe I can't. And then the next week, Bowler shows up again, and I'm worried that he's pissed, and he's worried that I'm pissed because he graffitied our block, but I was just cleaning up after him to keep him out of trouble. So we had this weird meeting where we both tried to apologize, but we weren't listening because we're both super hyper. And kind of have this tearful, like, he's like, I didn't know you guys were cool. I'm like, I was just trying to help. And we were not hearing each other. So that turned out really sweet. And then at the end of the night, his whole gang of graffiti kids sang Simple Plan on our mic.
I think that's the best part of the story.
Right? Yeah.
They had the mic and then we had to ask them to leave eventually because they kept singing Simple Plan.
But there are layers of these communities that nobody knows about. And it's really kind of magic to see everybody come together. And there was
This is opening at $15.
30-year-olds that beat the crap out of
$30,
15-year-olds and 15-year-olds that were, and there's like literal gang problems with these people fighting, but they'd come in here and then you meet each other. They'd be painting for half an hour and they'd be like, you're so-and-so. And like, oh, because they'd been crossing each other out for years. And then they became friends at the Rumble House.
Do you remember the opening bit for Anne Christine? This is by Anne Christine.
We forgot it last week. It was outside all night. And then at the end of the night, she's how did my piece sounds like? It's sat in the cage.
Sorry, Anne Christine. And actually her sister Randy's watching from the Sunshine Coast. So there's so we are
This really is like a window into another space. And this is like a good day no matter how bad of a day you're having. So this piece here, I mean, you could put it on the wall and it would eventually just become party wall, or you could put it behind a little curtain. And every time you need a little boost, a little dopamine hit, it's whoa, whoa.
or what we do is we put stuff up and then we always just change things around. And
Yeah,
it's like you
but
get to
it's
see
the
it for
heat
free.
that comes out of this room and the sensation
But,
of
it looks
curvature and the perspective. And strangely enough, it's got that Henson effect where you can turn it and the
looks
room
like a
seems to follow you.
courtyard.
Yeah,
Like,
it really
it
does
looks
some magic
like-
there.
She's just taken a bunch of pictures when she went to Rome recently of all doorways too. So it's like really beautiful to see all the layers of doorways that she did. Pretty nice.
This is a small boy and a fox in the field in the school I teach at. And I added a little house because I had a little water flare that happened over here and I thought I'd turn it into smoke. Looks what?
I want to bid on that.
No, I was gonna bid on it.
You can bid on it.
Well, you know what's fun between couples is just knowing that it's yours. So Jess and I live in the same house and hang the same art, but when I know it's mine, it makes me feel a little special. Opening bid for this is $5. Perfect.
$5.
And just know that it's not Travis's.
Yeah, it's fine.
Just for
Hey, can you put Darcy's up?
Oh yeah.
This is actually a triple collaboration. This is a quadruple collaboration. This is Jessica's brother's wall art that was a multiple picture of Bruce Lee in several different positions.
That's
Well,
like Bruce Lee with
it
Big
looks
Bird.
like
Yeah,
Grinch.
yeah, yeah. So what happened was the wood was dropped off at the gallery, and again, just like that bum, I wasn't really thinking that hard, and I started painting everything out but Bruce Lee's face, and then this monster evolved, and then Darcy came in. He's like, "You got something to paint on?" And I gave him my Bruce Lee monster, and he put some depth in with the orange, and this is Dayglow green, so it'll look rad under a black light. And then I can't remember the comment that
I
you,
told, well, he had another painting with a bunch of smiley faces that said victim on it.
yeah,
And so I said, put mentality underneath it.
yeah.
And then he just.
But he kind of took it hard, right? Like, you like put mentality on. I was like, "What'd you say?" He's like,
where is the smiley face one? Because they said I wanted to buy it.
I saw him walk out or put it over there.
Huh.
Hi.
But again, like this is a little strange, like when you look at it, but also consider living the rest of your life and you don't own this painting.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I would bid 50.
50?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, what else do we got? here?
The Shujas
Shuja.
and then Kelly's Shujas.
Where's Shuja?
5 for the set.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Multi-layered?
Just do you need my number? This number?
Yeah, 4.
Or you have it.
I have your e-transfer. I have your
And they look really nice
yes,
backlit.
number 4. Thank you so much.
So hopefully you get
And
these
is
in
it
a
okay, do you
window.
want to leave it here for next week or you want to take it with you?
I don't mind.
Leave it here?
Shuja,
Oh, no,
this is some
I
of the
don't mind it
nicest work
leaving
I've seen
here.
from
Yeah,
you in
I
a
don't mind
while.
leaving here because we can always put it in.
Really
here
well
next week.
resolved.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome. And I'll send you the
Really
code with
powerful.
it. How much? $5 opening bid.
For both of these?
Yeah, for the set.
5 for both? Is that correct?
And are they two-sided? From
And they work well with the backlighting. So you could put them in a window, and if the sun shines
the
through them,
lines are so cool.
they're effective with light going through them or not. Do you want to pass them around?
5?
Power.
I don't know if you said how much the woman digging the grave or digging grave was.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't put the $10 fine.
$10.
Opening bid, yeah. This is how we work. Is if you get it for the opening bid, nobody bids against you. It's a score. If 2 people want it, it can shoot up to.
I'll bet $10.
$10. Yeah.
I can do 20.
20?
Uh-oh.
Another woman? 30.
It gets exciting when it gets like when Jess used to do this online. They'd be like mostly ladies, right?
It was all ladies.
Kinda
and they would just be
middle-aged
smack
ladies.
talking over text
Okay,
message.
let's do 35.
But they all swore like sailors, but just in the text. And then she tried so hard to keep her head together and not like let on that they were swearing at each other because they were such sweet ladies. But I think secret that sweet ladies swear like sailors when there's nobody looking.
So good.
I'll go 40.
Bye.
Bye. Nice seeing you. Have a good night.
You
See
guys.
you.
Just depends how high-
$40 going once, $40 going twice, $40 going 3 times.
Oh, he wasn't even paying attention.
And you got well, there's a 10-minute lag.
It just adds to the anticipation.
You throw a few of mine up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Either way, they work. Yeah. Maybe like that.
So this is by Morgan.
Like that.
Did I have it upside? No. Oh my gosh. Opening bid,
We'll
Morgan.
go 10.
And would you like to say anything about it?
Lady Nora gave me a bunch of pre-painted canvases. I was doing some work for her, and so I got back into painting this year.
Is there anything of the original canvas showing through here?
Yeah. So I couldn't figure out how to make it look like it was peeling off of the tower because
Yeah.
when you see those towers, oftentimes the water erodes the paint.
Yep.
And so what I did was I just put some wet acrylic on it and then pull it off with paper towel to have what underneath the show is kind
Yeah, I
of.
love it. It's got a little bit of rust.
Yeah, so the painting before was on a big sunset across like 5 different canvases. And I thought,
The
so
street is getting overused.
My favorite painting in my house was this abomination that was like Andrew dropped it off, and it was like a shopping mall 3D kind of plastic print of a Van Gogh painting. And I love Van Gogh, but to see like this kind of cheesy plasticized version of a Van Gogh painting actually kind of hurt my soul. And you could almost see like the pixelation of the bad printing, and the colors were drab, and it was just almost like made me angry on Van Gogh's behalf. But then I was just sitting with it, and I just started painting over top of it with my neon light paintings, which really brought the vibrant colors out of this kind of cheesy shopping mall abomination. And when I hit it with the black light, it's just like, wow. So it's both my favorite and cheesiest thing I own. This isn't cheesy. I just, but I love when you have like pieces of that other thing showing through.
This is really powerful.
And what is your opening bid for this?
there's a 10.
I'll bid 10.
And here's another one.
Do I have the bid on this one?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And it was 8?
Yeah, and actually, I would have bid 6 on this one. I really love the
Okay,
watercolor.
perfect. Yeah.
If anyone wants to bid, so those, yeah, $6 for the
To the
watercolor
family table.
and $8 on the
I
canvas.
think this one timed out, or if it hasn't, this is your last chance to bid on this. Was this 10?
That's 10.
Okay. And then what is this one at?
40 to Jen.
40? With like about 7 minutes left. That's fine. Eh? We do have a bit of a lag when, like, Richard's not with us, but Richard in Illinois does have about a 7-minute lag. So we give that lag just in case somebody wants to bid. He put a show up for me. Actually, it was so funny. About 12 people at, what day did that was Remembrance Day.
11 on Saturday.
It was the Friday, last Friday, like 12 people came up to me and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I think so." And then actually 12 people asked me if I was feeling okay. And I realized at the end of the day, I was just feeling super pissy because I had an art show in Illinois that
And you
we
couldn't
couldn't
make
get
it
on the
to
plane
the-
to see.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there at school dealing with like hormonal teenagers when I should have been at my art opening in Illinois.
This is by Morgan, too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. $10. Can't, we're having a bit of a situation going on there. So.
I love like just these stoic mountains and like, oh no. It was so normal before.
This is also from my book.
Yeah. There's like lots
So you're
of
trying to get on the
characters.
ship. What's the bid for it again? Okay. If it's okay, I'm going to bid 10 on this. Is it okay? So I'll bid on those two for 10.
Can we put Kelly's?
Where's Kelly's?
The bunny with the
Right.
raver bunny.
I'm not putting the lights out.
Okay. No, you don't have to
You
put
gotta turn the
the
lights on.
here, gotta turn
Oh,
on
this didn't sell that.
so and I remember
Okay, I'll put the lights
the ears.
out.
But look, the ears. So Kelly does oh, there's little lights all over it. Kelly does these altered
Is that dark enough?
yeah, it's good. Kelly does these altered stuffies. So this is Miffy, the Raving Bunny. It's her Halloween outfit.
Love it.
Is that right? And so the opening is 50 for her. I like that she has ears and that she has ears on her.
The trick with something like this is just to
Kelly
carry.
spends so much time on those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she wires them
And-
all up.
and-
like
Oh, my
When you get one, just
God.
carry it to places that people wouldn't expect you to have one of these.
or like
Pull into the staff meeting, and
Or
just
like
as
you're
everybody's getting settled, and like, "What are you doing with the weird teddy bear?" And then you flick the lights on and act like, "What do you mean?"
or like you said, put them in your car. And just,
I think if this was sitting in your car, no one would ever break into your car, right? Like that guy that has the glitter bombs that he loads into for the porch pirates. This thing just screams glitter bomb.
Oh, Richard is watching. Said hi.
Oh,
Watching. Very good. So fun. So Richard. Hello, Richard. Oh, okay.
This was from our figure drawing. We do figure drawings
Oh,
on
yeah.
Thursdays. We were just gifted a bunch of frames, so I'm able to put some of my paper into frames. I think I said, did I say $25 for the pair?
The ears flash.
Huh? Oh, the ears flash.
Oh.
But Thursday nights we do figure drawing. It's $20 to join us for a session. If you want lessons, you can have. Oh, I forgot about that.
Also, we have more glass too.
This one you can either buy it with or without the frame. I put it in a frame to flatten it. We won't have a chance to go see Falling Water when we get to. We're going to fly out to Chicago and go see the closing of my show in January. If we're going to be in Illinois, is it in Illinois? Falling Water.
I don't.
But I exist because of Falling Water. The one thing my parents had in common was a crossover. My mom went to art school. My dad was a draftsman. And the one thing that they both loved was Frank Lloyd Wright. I don't know if you can see it with their reflection, but sketch of Falling Water.
And we put in the other glass.
Which is that? This
The
one.
little one, the big one, yeah.
This is the piece I left at the end because I want to buy it.
Here, can you see the color? It's really.
Yeah.
It's like metallic on the outside and orange on the inside.
Chalice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the chemistry of what makes glass do the colors that they do is really interesting because it's a little bit like when we're doing ceramics and you have to read the labels because you'll paint the glaze you'll apply the glaze onto the clay and put it into the kiln. It won't look anything like you're expecting. Some of the most beautiful blues come from things like gold or
brown.
Yeah,
like
right.
dirty brown.
Yeah, who made that?
Brenda. She lives across the street.
Nice work,
Yeah.
Brenda.
Yeah.
Right? So this is
Beautiful.
opening at $80.
She's explosive.
That's heavy.
She's attached to an oxygen tank, so when she comes in, she's like always trying to keep her distance from the smokers. And if you see Brenda with her rolling her tank over, please give her a little bit of space because I think she is literally explosive. Literally. There's like this explosion sign on her door when you go across and visit her because there's like lots of people that smoke in the building, and she's like plugged into oxygen. Was that insensitive?
No,
Potatoes in my pocket.
everyone's tired.
It just is what it is, man.
It just is
This
what it
this
is.
really does make me wish I didn't quit drinking beer though.
It's very beautiful. And there's also a small one
Look
for.
at this.
It's really beautiful. So that's $10.
You could put candy in it. It wouldn't matter if there's candy in it.
It's
'cause
really
so
magical.
beautiful. It looks like candy.
You can pass that one around.
She's the one that made
The watercolors. Yeah. Yeah. Here, I'll show you. There's some nice watercolors.
See, because she's gonna buy art and put it in her office.
Yeah, that's going in my office.
There's an ostrich egg. That's by Jennifer Waters, who brought that. Brenda brought that to us,
Yeah,
and I was like, "This is Jennifer Waters' work," and she was like, "You know her?" I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah.
So that's Jennifer Waters did a painting on an ostrich egg.
The motion.
Every time you say ostrich, I think you're saying ostracized. Ostracized. Yeah. And it's I don't know why I connect those. They don't sound anything alike, but I just do a little time warp, and that's not an interesting story. It must be getting late. And I'm not trying to imply my stories at the beginning of the night were interesting. It's just now I'm starting to recognize that they're not interesting. Oh, am I talking again?
Oh yeah, here. Just these-
Okay, and you probably had this
these
thought
are
that
some of the
I
other
might be
ones.
difficult to live with, but I gotta be me 24/7. She gets to sleep and be away from me at night.
That's true.
I wake up in the morning like, oh crap, I'm Rich Teru again.
No, that's a nice.
What else do we got?
Okay, there's one.
Did we show you this?
Oh no,
That one's sweet.
it's another series by Morgan. So it's the toys and the
Oh,
childhood
yeah.
piece, and so there's Woody interacting with real life or a dreamscape memory.
Is this where's Morgan? Is this part here from the Toy Story narrative?
I'm not sure, or if it's like memories or part of
That
the.
is trippy shit. Holy God. It's really cool. I like the size.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Back.
It's totally terrifying. That is a great one. That is a
Go
traumatizing
hang that up in the kids' room.
It's for like a nursery.
That'll be fine.
They have very different childhoods. Like
Watch the movie, see the painting. So, opening is 50 for this one as well. All right.
What is the story of this?
Well, it's part of the Attack of the Childhood.
Attack of the Childhood.
And
is that a bid? That noise?
no, it's me.
Oh, geez. I was like, oh.
We'll
I
just
like that it
pretend-
sounds like
We should have the bids be that sound because that has way more
What's the
impact.
one behind there again?
That's right, Franklin, right?
Oh,
Falling
right.
water. And I was gonna show Dusty's scarf.
Yeah, scarf.
Opening at 20, so this is hand dyed silk scarf. So Dusty is a weaver, and I actually just watched her finish a piece of weaving on her loom. The first part of the night, 7 to 9, she's always on the live feed from her studio, and so it was cool to watch a piece of her weaving be taken off the loom because it seems like I always see her starting a piece.
Remember when Felix was doing his magic
Yeah, he did a
tricks?
magic trick. We were very lucky. So these, so that's opening at 20. You can keep doing your magic trick. You are so good. It's amazing.
Never even practiced.
So these watercolors are opening at $40 by Brenda.
Oh, that looks nice.
Oh, this is
You just turned into Audrey Hepburn,
oh, yes.
but prettier.
No one's prettier than Audrey.
Ava Gardner. You.
Okay. Oh, these are here. So here, this is also by Brenda. So Storm coming over the field. So this is opening at 40 as well. This is
Was it
also
in
by Brenda.
1999?
Yeah.
Yeah. Painting from the late 1900s.
Campsite.
This is one of my favorite moods. When you can see the sun burning across the ground or a building or something that's nearby, and then that stormy weather in the back. What's your opening bid for this?
40.
Let's try this in again next week. I'll buy it for 40 if it doesn't get another bid. I want to give it another shot to go up next week.
Perfect. This was cool from last week. This was opening at 120 from Alex. The Many Faces of Fear and Frustration by Alex. Opening 120. Very surreal.
Extreme.
Extreme.
Looks like a jellyfish.
Oh,
If you haven't done this before, drawing a good face is quite hard, right? Drawing two good faces is even harder, and the continuity between these three faces is kind of like that special gift that animators and comic book artists have, is that ability to revisit the same character from all different edges and still have
Richard
it.
from Illinois bid $50 on the Toy Story. Going to Illinois.
It'll be there when we get there.
Oh, that's. We should just fly with
Did
it.
this one get a bit?
Yes, Morgan has it.
We want to hold on to it?
I'm buying it for him.
Okay.
Aww.
You and your
You
backdoor
can-
deals.
You can give it. That's what I was
Come
explaining
take it
to
now.
Chris, right? Like I was like, the auction will not be what you think it will be. It's like people will bid against each other just to gift it to someone else. Like,
Well, he wanted to trade
That's-
his work. I don't know.
It's
Is
super
it insulting that I did extra work? Or would you rather?
I mean, I would like you to have some.
Okay, I'll take some.
you guys are so sweet. Okay, so Morgan's Toy Story, $50
This
to
one-
Richard.
it just looks so
Whose eagle is that?
Oh, it's a print of a watercolor by Brenda, and this is $10.
Print or watercolor? Hmm.
We'll just imagine those are bids. Be better for everyone.
Did this one get a bid?
Louise is watching the live.
That's
She's
nice.
amazing.
Did this one
No,
get a
that's
bid?
awesome. I like that hearing the feedback from Louise.
Did this get a bid?
Yes, Jeff.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah,
And can I
that's-
give it to you?
Thanks.
I think you want it for $10, right?
It's like sort of-
About $5.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll take it.
See, it would transport it. Yeah.
because
Do you want to
Right.
right dancing?
Trying to.
Are you? Oh, this is Alvin's. $30 opening bid.
It's funny because Alvin's work, you love it, right? You may be like, I don't know if I want that in my kitchen, but you love it. And then you're trying to figure out where it's going to go. And then, so I ended up buying most of Alvin's work for like 6 months or so. And then we put up a show and he put up like reasonable prices because it was a studio work, like $200-300. He sold out the show and it got us through the summer. And it's just funny how I know what this looks like on a wall full of Alvin's work,
Yeah.
but sometimes on its own it has a different feel. And it's really interesting to watch how certain pieces pick up different energies at different times.
With different.
But this one's been in the auction for a couple weeks and hasn't picked up a owner, but maybe we should put another show up. Anything else?
Yeah,
Who's got
there's
this?
more painting. I don't think that one got a bid yet. It's a really beautiful self-portrait by Morgan.
The humanity. Actually, kind of looks like me.
Do you want us to keep that one, Morgan, for next week, or would you like to take
Yeah,
it with
whatever
you?
it does. It's always hanging too.
Perfect. This, so Rich, this one, should we wait? Yeah.
Oh, Felix.
This is Felix's from last week.
Felix.
So Felix just turned 11. He did a book reading with me last weekend. Actually, this is cute because there's in my book there's a passage about this. It's based off Gabe. I had a conversation with one of my students a few years ago, and his grandparent was sick, and then so as it worked its way into my novel, a kid that looked like Gabe kind of had a conversation with a kooky teacher like me. And that the gist of it was that this kid's grandparent had passed. And so the teacher's having a conversation with this kid about how back to the mothership, that it was the grandmother's turn to get on the mothership and she was going to be happy, but it wasn't the student's turn to be on the mothership. And then it's a fairly long chapter,
Yeah.
about 11 pages. And we drove out to Bonneville with my son, who's 11. He was 10 at the time. And I put my grandma on the ground and got in the car and we start driving back to Calgary. And he just starts narrating chapter 11 of my book by memory about, and it fit the moment so perfectly. Only
It's your
it was a
grandmother's
little boy saying it to
turn
an
to
old man.
get-
Yeah.
To get on the ship. And you really shouldn't go. It's not your turn.
And I kept thinking like, wow, how does he have like 6 pages of this memorized? And maybe once or twice he seemed to stall a little bit, but each time he stalled was during the dialogue in the book, and he wasn't stalling. He was waiting for me to fill in my own lines. And then he recited all 11 pages. And then we had a chance to do a book reading last weekend.
Yeah.
Because I forgot I wrote another book. It's just a chapter in this other book that I wasn't that connected. Is my publisher online right now? I did this amazing chapter in this amazing book, and it was totally at the forefront of my mind. But I had an opportunity to go to this book reading,
Yeah.
and so I was going to read a portion of this book,
Mhm.
but it also is like a floating chapter from my first book. So I snuck my son in. He's wearing a blazer. He never wears blazers, and he just effortlessly read chapter 11 out of my book to this crowd of people, and it was really sweet watching him do that. The other thing is, because F comes before R or J, when we did the Audible version of my book, his name comes up as the narrator. So like he's at school and the kids at his school Google him and he comes up as a narrator from
Audible.
audible.com book.
So this is from last week.
What was the story about this?
Just doing a magician,
A magician.
sorcerer in a castle.
Did he have an opening bit?
This is magic.
Yeah, isn't it? And this is blacklight, but we're not going to go to the trouble of that right now. So. Actually, I kind of need this for home because I need to
That's
cover
pretty,
something.
yeah. These look really good together. So these are by Theo. So Theo had a show up recently as well. These are on watercolor paper. It's ink, acrylic, watercolor. And so those are from 2020. Theo is really interesting because we've kind of had pieces from the 70s from him.
We've seen Theo's
pieces
entire
from-
life
yeah.
unfold before our eyes because these are from 2020, but he has pieces from 1967. The continuity of his work is insane because this is from 2011,
Look at this one with the
but the pieces from 1967 all fit seamlessly. You know, and
This
I don't
is-
know. He must have held on to it all.
2009.
Kind of hoarded all of his work, and he donates 100% of what he sells to the gallery to keep us open. And he put a show up. We found out that he sells most of these pieces in the $700 range, and he'll start his bids at $40 here. This is from 2023, so these are modern, awfully modern.
Oh, I like this one a lot.
2021.
The white caps on the waves are really. This is from '97.
From the late 1900s. The kids love saying that at school. Well, that's from the late 1900s, Mr. Terry. Yeah. Guess what else is from the late 1900s? Are you from the mid 1900s, Mr. Terry? Mid to late. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
02.
2002.
At least from the century, hey?
Are we having an auction or is this?
I don't know.
Do you want to bid on any?
Morgan, we're just showing you our work and talking at this point.
At some point, very soon, Jesse's going to sing us a song. What's it going to be?
Sing us good night.
What?
Sing us
What was it going to be? What do you sing? Was I singing earlier? Something silly? What was I singing earlier?
I don't know. Oh, Rock the Rescue.
Oh, can you sing that?
Rock sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this came from the watching the galaxies of the Guardians too. So the Beatles. Oh yeah, of course. Thank you so much, you guys. And we'll send the e-transfer this weekend. Thank you so much. Take care. Nice to meet you. Yeah, definitely. Sorry. I don't know if I should do this one because I'm not very smart.
What? What's the trouble?
Yeah.
You don't have to do that song.
Oh, here, this is for you.
I give you.
You know what? It actually works out. I still owe you $2 from your
Okay.
sales and that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, thank you so much.
See you.
Riaz,
Are you getting-
to get the
Yeah.
email transfer.
Perfect. All right. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day. And I'll send all my loving to you. I'll pretend that I'm kissing the lips I am missing and hope that my dreams will come true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day and I'll send all my loving to you. All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true. All my loving, all my loving, ooh, all my loving, I will send so many people that came their first time, and it was so nice seeing so many people from all different avenues of our lives. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have pieces, we will make sure you get all your pieces.